journey for every woman. And yet many of us don't realize the symptoms can happen early in our 30s. We don't need a slide up anymore. I didn't know what to expect because my mom never shared her experience with me. For years, I thought that I bypassed all those serious symptoms, which I actually did. And I attended a women's retreat, and it was an eye opener. I realized that several health issues I had in my 30s, were actually connected to hormone issues. And today I'm honored to have Rocio Ramos. You can bring up Rocio's slide next. Who is Youngevity's marketing manager and fitness expert. Rocio Ramos, who is affectionately called Ro in the Youngevity community, has been working in the health industry for 15 years. From personal fitness training to leading marketing efforts for the health and wellness company, Ro continues to be a key figure in women's health. So today we'll be discussing 3 habits to master menopause and more. So let's welcome Rocio Ramos, Youngevity's marketing manager and fitness expert, back to my show. Rocio?
Hey, hi Deb. Hey Debbie, how's it going?
Oh, it's going good. Thank you. And so happy that you can make it.
I'm excited to be here. This is, I think, a topic that we are both very familiar with, and I'm just now becoming very familiar with. So I see my friends going through it, my family members. So I'm excited to share and talk about it.
Yeah, I was lucky that I didn't really go through the perimenopause, except for some symptoms I didn't know.
Yeah.
But, and I wasn't, so, I didn't have severe symptoms, but, I'm in postmenopause. So I've been through the stages. One of them I didn't even know about.
Yeah.
But, I don't know if your mom was like this, but pretty much my mom didn't share anything like this with me.
No, there was no sharing. There was a lot of yelling. But I did not realize that that's what she was going through either, right? As a teenager or as a kid. I'm like, gosh, she's in a bad mood today or something's wrong. But yeah, there was no sharing.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really good to get information out so people feel like they're not alone, and they'll have like these little light bulb moments like, whoa, that's what's going on, right?
Yeah.
So that's what the purpose of the show is today.
Yeah. And I think more and more we are seeing that openness and that conversation, right? We even see it within our Youngevity community of being able to share these symptoms, these, feelings that we're having, these emotions over it. I think it's no longer something to be ashamed of or to be, scared of. It's a journey. We're all going to go through it. Some of us are going to have different experiences. And I think that the more that you can have those conversations and help each other out and lift women up, I think that that's important for all of this.
Very much so. So now, you're into physical fitness. So what are the biggest physiological changes happening during perimenopause, and how do they impact the women who, how do they impact the way they have to approach exercise?
Right. And perimenopause, and that's kind of the sort of stage that I would say that I'm in, right? And I think most importantly, what's happening are those hormone changes, and the hormone changes that are affecting your, metabolism, your muscle mass, your recovery. Estrogen, progesterone, right? And so all of those hormones in itself are changing, are reacting to the way that your body is also, like, especially with physical fitness, in your recovery, your muscle building, like that's all going to change. And so I think the most important thing and the biggest approach that I encourage for a lot of women in perimenopause and menopause is strength training, right? I think the very most important thing that you can do is to maintain muscle mass and bone density, right? And the number one way to do that is with strength training. And I know for many of us, myself included, we're runners, right? We love to do a lot of cardio, and that's, how I get a lot of my stress out. I like to go on a long run or get on that, Peloton bike for, an hour. And that is all great and all. And I'm not saying to stop doing that. I think what I am encouraging is to add at least 2 to 3 days of strength training a day. And that means dumbbells, barbells, and I know they can be scary at times. For our next Live the Life You Want event, I'm creating 5 different workouts that we're going to share, and we'll create videos so that women can log in, they can see what they need to do, and that way they're not so intimidated, they know what they're doing. But we have to make sure that we can lift a little bit of weights as we're getting older and continue to build that muscle mass.
Yeah, that's very important. And because of my own transformation, I really didn't work out. I did. I walked on a treadmill and I did Pilates. I guess that's what I did. But
Yeah.
I couldn't, other than walking, it was painful for me to walk on a treadmill, and just changing the way I ate, and eating, toxic-free foods and whole food supplements made a big difference in my life. And all of a sudden I became a half marathon runner. When a friend said, "Oh, that's running on the treadmill is nothing. Come out running with it." and
It's different. It's addicting,
different.
I'm sure.
It was very addictive. I mean, and I looked at her and I said, "Are you nuts?" But and then I just took off with the stampede, and I never saw her again on that run.
Yeah.
But she said, "I did fantastic." But when you do prep your body with good nutrition and good supplementation, you are going to have energy. You are going to feel better. And obviously, I did gain weight, right? Due to stress and things like that in my life up to age 49. That's when I started losing the weight. And your metabolism does change during those ages. Everyone says, "Oh, I'm getting heavier. I'm getting that belly. I am," and your metabolism is slowing down. So that's why it's important to refigure how you're going to eat and refigure how you do your exercise. And you've already touched on strength training and cardio as a stage to support metabolism, muscle mass, and it will also support energy levels, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now when it comes to fatigue, this can happen in our 30s as well, because especially people that have children, you multitask. You're working with your business or career, and you're trying to do things with your children, and we're multitasking. Multitasking does create a lot of mental fatigue and can create physical fatigue, where you feel like you're just running out of steam. And so, Rocio, when it comes to exercise, many women feel more fatigued with their exercise routine and experience inconsistent performance, and how they adjust their workouts. How can they adjust their workouts without losing progress?
And that's very important. And I think the number one thing that, not just that, I think mentally, I think women, we need to give each other a little bit of grace, right? I think especially if you are in a very, regimented, like you've got your runs, you've got to go do your workout, or else it's not going to feel good, or it's going to ruin everything. And I think that we need to understand that things like that are going to happen, especially as you age, right? And by being able to slow down even a little bit, it's not going to, you're not going to lose any progress. I think most of the time that's your body telling you, I need to rest, right? If you are feeling those low energy, that fatigue, and maybe today is not the day that you're going to go on that run. Maybe today is not the day that you're going to go into the gym and do your strength training program. Hey, maybe today's a day I go on a walk. Maybe today's a day I, go on YouTube, I use Peloton a lot, so I'm using Peloton as an example. Peloton has stretch classes in there. Hey, maybe today I'm not going to work out. I'm probably going to, I'm going to stretch. I maybe need a little bit of some yoga, some meditation. And that, though it is not that intense exercise, that is still you exercising your mind, your mobility, your joints. So, exercise is going to look a little bit different sometimes, especially again in this perimenopause, menopause, post-menopause age, when we don't have that, energy at times, or when we're experiencing that mental fog, and it's like, you can't get yourself to the gym, but you can go outside, do a little stretch. Doesn't have to be, an hour of exercise. It can be, sometimes it's going to be 10 minutes, and that's, okay. And so I think that for us, kind of changing or shifting a little bit on, not having to do everything the way it is, and being able to be okay with a couple of like last minute changes in our routine, I think is going to help us a lot. And just kind of like, you as a health coach, I'm sure have a lot of ways of coaching people through that like mental challenge, right, that they're going to be experiencing.
Yes, I do. I mean, because I've been down that road myself. I don't know if you may have known, I broke my foot a few years back.
Oh, I think you told me that the last time I saw you, because we were on our hike. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that was a couple of years ago. I was running down a hill, and all of a sudden I landed on a weird, and I'm like, oh, that feels funny, and I kind of limped down to the side. My husband picks me up, and I ended up going to the podiatrist. And yes, I broke my 5th metatarsal.
Wow.
I had to stay off of it for 4 weeks. I was on a scooter. But whenever I was on that scooter, I was like, moving my leg. I was trying to do anything I could do to stretch my body. And one thing, like you said, is that there's always something you can do. And that deep diaphragmatic breathing is circulating your lymph, is circulating your blood, is circulating things in your body to keep it going. And it's regulating and releasing your stress in your body. So don't feel like you have to do that hard workout all the time. I mean,
yeah.
Started running again, I was falling because I wasn't strong enough. And but I was given clearance to run. But my whole point is that I finally broke free from that and did my 7th half marathon, and now I've done 9. So even if you are in this life stage of menopause, always get back into your routine.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, perfect example. I had been traveling, and we were in Texas, and I wasn't going to a gym, and we were also in an area where maybe running wasn't super safe, but I was walking a lot. Every morning I did a meditation. I got home, we got home yesterday. This morning I had every intention. I'm an early morning person, right? So I wake up at 4:30 so I can go get my workout in at 5. But, today it just wasn't going to happen. I woke up at 4:30 and my head said no. My body said, you got to go back to sleep. So then I went back to sleep, and I don't feel horrible, right? I did some walks at my lunch today. This is what it is. I'll try to hit it again tomorrow, but it's just kind of changing that, mentality. You got to listen to yourself and what your body's telling you.
Yeah. And walking outside is going to give you natural vitamin D. It's going to help you. I just love listening to nature. It's like ecotherapy. So yeah, of course, I live in Huntington Beach, so that makes it really easy.
Yes, we're not all that lucky, but we still have pretty nice views over here.
Yeah. So it really does help because, when your soul is at ease, so to speak, you just feel so much better, and you can handle the day better, and that's going to keep you energized.
Yeah,
when you're less stressed.
I agree. I agree.
So now, since we're talking about rest and things like that, sleep is so crucial for all ages. And when we sleep, not only are we resting our bodies, but we also are resting our gut, because it needs time to process all the food, especially the last meal that you had throughout the night. And it's also stress, it's going to release stress if you have a good night's sleep. And when people are not doing that, the recovery, such as sleep, stress, and rest days, and during the menopause life stage, I call it, what should be the big influence in their training routine to do that?
For
rest days, things like that. I mean,
yes.
We kind of said, give yourself grace, but there's rest days doesn't mean you can take the day off, but there's other things they can do. Like we've told people, they can walk, they can do yoga, they can do other things, other than that major workout. But is there anything particular that is your favorite that you like to do other than walking?
I meditate. I started meditating a lot. but also a lot of like mobilizing, a lot of mobility, a lot of stretching. I have like a little Theragun now that I kind of use even when I'm just feeling a little bit of tension, a little bit of stress. I use that on my muscles. But you know, going back to, the sleep, I think, and kind of taking time to actually have those really good rest days and really good prioritizing sleep days. I have completely changed my routine for that too. And some people, like, again, if you've been traveling a lot, you haven't been sleeping well, I think it's important to make sure you do get that good night's sleep. How is that going to happen? Sometimes, like you said, it's probably going to have to prioritize having your meal early on so that you're able to go to sleep pretty well. I know that I sleep very bad if I try to eat dinner and then an hour later I'm go to sleep. I'm gonna be restless. I know it in myself now. I'm gonna wake up a bunch of times in the middle of the night because I think my body's right. It hasn't digested my food. It's reacting to with whatever is in there. But last night I read my book. So I think for sure screen time for me, I even have my phone on do not disturb past 8 p.m. So I don't want to hear dings. I want, maybe if there's something important that I'm waiting on, I'll log back on and look at it. But trying to slow down the noise, especially at nighttime, and prioritize that sleep, that is crucial. It's so important, especially during menopause, right, Debbie? Like our hormones are off the rockers, going all sorts of places. And so if we can at least try to regulate, melatonin and whatever else, like that's going to be even more beneficial for us. But I highly, recommend slowing down at night. Like you have to slow down at night. You, sleep supplements, amazing. I know that we have really good products, but like you said, probiotics and, prioritizing those in your diet is essential too. I just started taking for the Hope products, the women's probiotic. I've been sleeping super great. My digestive system seems amazing. My energy feels great. So I think that we kind of forget about our gut, sometimes. And again, you probably know a lot more about this and that sort of reset that we need. But I think our taking care of our gut has to be just as important as taking care of your sleep, or that's where it's going to start. And your protein and your exercise, you got to have a good gut in order to I'll keep all these things going. So that is also number one thing for me.
Yeah, because having a good gut is going to make your brain healthier. You have less of that brain fog. And also, there's like three brains in our system. There's the brain, there's the heart, and then there's the gut. And they all connect along the vagus nerve. And having everything going smoothly, you're going to be less stressed. You're going to digest things a lot better. You're going to be able to exercise better, and you're going to feel better and sleep better. So regulating how your vagus nerve is, being, so to, feeling is going to make you feel better. And like you said, the electronic detox, I always talk about electronic detox. We need to stop looking at screens like computer screens, TVs. We need to obviously shut off your phones. Like you said, you turned off your phone. And we just need to stay away from that. And reading a book is a really good way of doing that. Meditation at night is I actually do acupressure with meditation and breathe.
Oh, wow.
Acupressure. I've learned from one of my clients. I do acupressure. It's like certain points that you can hold onto your fingers. So, for instance, like you can breathe, like hold onto your thumb and breathe for a few minutes and do deep diaphragmatic breathing. Then go to the next finger and do a couple breaths on that finger, and then you go to the next finger, because that's going to relax your body and you'll feel so much better. If you have tension in your neck, you can do. You could put your hand on your back and on your neck and do some breathing exercises as well. So that's the acupressure that I do. And also sometimes just having that relaxing, bath with lavender and
oh my gosh, yes,
things like that. It's a great way to relax.
Again, another thing that I prioritize as I'm older too, as we're aging, because I'm just like, shower in and out. But it kind of, a bath can also be that time, for yourself, for your body to recover. It doesn't have to be like a rushed sort of thing. It's like, take some time, sit in the bath, do some Epsom salt with, like you said, the essential oils, help your body kind of recover. And, going back to that recovery and how essential it is, because, I think in my 20s, I was like, workout every day, go, go, go. Even into my 30s, sometimes it was like 1 to 2 workouts a day, or, I'm working out 5 to 6 times a week. And now, I'll work out 2 days, I'll maybe rest another day, work out a few days. But again, even taking those 1 to 2 days off a week, you're going to go back into the gym or into your running. You're going to have a great run. You're going to have a great workout because your body's going to be rested. So
Exactly.
that is way more efficient and better for you than going into a gym and you're really sore, or in a run and your joints are hurting because your something's tight. That's not going to benefit you at all. As a matter of fact, you're probably going to get injured, especially as we're getting older, right? It's probably going to do us more harm. So I think as you get older, less is more, especially with workouts sometimes.
Yeah. And as you mentioned, less is more. You're right. But also, if, when it comes to your health, taking right supplementation to make sure that you feel better. Also, you're mentioning the probiotic. That is a wonderful probiotic for women. That's in Hope. I was really amazed how well I was feeling when I took the Hope.
Yeah.
And and I'll be discussing that later on in the show, but it's a great product. It's not going to replace your hormones, but it's going to help make you feel better. And it's going to help you, I guess, because you're protecting your telomeres to age gracefully, so to speak.
Yeah.
And but that probiotic itself is just made for women. And that's what we need, is something special. So
Yeah.
I want to reiterate that too. Now, we've been talking about so many tips, and I can give people so many tips when it comes to menopause and this life stage. And everyone is unique and has their own issues. So it's not like a rubber stamp for everybody.
Of
right?
course.
And when it comes to women, if a woman focuses on, you have 3 habits to feel stronger and more energized, what do you recommend?
If there's 3 things that I would recommend every person or every woman, perimenopause, menopause, that can focus on. And number 1 was strength, that we talked about at the very beginning, right? I think you absolutely have to prioritize strength. And, I've been in, Youngevity for the long time, and I do the workouts there. And I've also been a coach, and I still coach 2 times a week because I love it. I certainly, my career is with Youngevity as their marketing manager, but I really absolutely love helping people outside of that and ensuring that they stay strong. And, our clientele at the gym I work out is a lot of probably women, men, my age and older. And the number one thing, people come in there and they're scared and they want to lift, they kind of keep with their like 5-pound weights. And then as they get more comfortable, they start to increase weight. But you can absolutely see the difference in the confidence and the strength after they start to actually work, get stronger, build muscle. And I cannot stress that enough to those women and to every woman when they go in there. I was like, you got to make sure you maintain that muscle mass, right? You got to keep getting stronger. You got to strength train. I know it's scary sometimes, and a barbell can be scary, and a gym can be scary, machines can be scary, but it's essential. And people need to focus on strength and building muscle. And with that is, and I know protein is a huge thing. We talked about it the last time, but focusing on protein intake, because otherwise, doesn't matter how many times we go into the gym or our exercise routine. If we aren't feeding those muscles, then they aren't going to grow. And again, it's all for nothing. So I think you got to strength train, and then you got to eat protein. And I think the last time we talked about we have that calculation on how to calculate your protein intake. And so we can share that too, in the comments, or we can share that with the women again. But
Actually, in my offer. So yeah.
Beautiful. Yes. So definitely, it's an easy combination. And once you start tracking your protein, and that's all I'm asking you to focus on. You don't have to focus on carbs. You don't have to focus on fat. Just focus on hitting those grams of protein every day, and it's going to become second nature to you. Now I know exactly how much my omelet's going to have, how much this piece of chicken is going to have. I've been doing it for so long that now I know what I need to eat in order to get to 100, 120 grams of protein a day. So consistency with that. and and then finally, like what we just talked about is like that sleep and stress management. I
Mhm.
mean, you see it, and I see it even now with friends as we're aging. And my friend is the healthiest person. She does Pilates, she runs, she manages her weight, she's eats everything, but her cholesterol levels were still through the roof. And so what was going on there? Her stress. Yeah. And so it's like I mean, I've been with her. We eat the exact same thing, but it is that stress. And,
Mhm.
and I get it, we're getting older, there's health concerns, there's people's got, kids, and kids are going to college, and parents, and so many things, and work and things we have to take care of. But I mean, you gotta slow it down, right? We have to do these mental exercises, these breathing exercises. We have to reduce stress. And, a lot of the times we can manage that through exercise. So a lot of times stress and actually your sleep can improve, if you are exercising or if you're moving, and, you go do a nice workout, you're tired. So a lot of these things, it's all kind of one big box, I think, right? So it's like they all kind of fit in together.
They and they don't need to jump in it with 2 feet into a pool. They can take
Yeah.
baby steps in it. Like you're saying, they're scared to use that weight, and they're also scared about increasing it, right? But all they do is lower reps, start off with a weight that is comfortable, and then if that's
Mhm.
becoming easier, right, you go to something that's a little bit heavier and maybe do less reps and then work up the more reps. Am I right?
Yeah. Yes. And Debbie, too, I always stress this too. And I know that it's expensive, but I always tell anybody starting any sort of exercise routine, or, whatever, like strength program, is invest in those 3 to 4 personal training sessions with a trainer in your local gym or whatever else. And it's going to be, expensive at the beginning, but it's going to help you become more comfortable. They're going to teach you exactly what you need to do. And you're just investing in yourself, right? It's going to be a couple $100, but that's, better than being in pain. It's better than not sleeping well. So it's really, truly worth that investment of that extra little bit, to find someone to kind of show you the ropes. And then that makes you comfortable. And then that helps you in all of the things in your exercise routine, and, a lot of different aspects of life.
Yeah, my husband is in charge of safety standards for physical fitness equipment. And one thing that a lot of people do is they just go in the gym and they may not even know how to use something correctly. That's why investing in a trainer who can teach them how to use it correctly is going to save them from having an injury.
Hmm. Yeah. And I know, I mean, I create videos for us at Youngevity, and I do sort of things too. And, I can definitely show women and show men kind of how to do a certain exercise. But I think having just that person there with you, at least for a couple of sessions, to guide you, I think it's just so much helpful. It makes you comfortable. And then they're there kind of to answer any questions too.
And they have experience with other people, so they really know where to start you out. And if
Yeah.
they see you struggling or see that something's not quite right, they're going to have you back off and do the right thing
Yeah.
if they're a trainer.
Yes. And I'm sure it's super easy, right, to find a good trainer. I think you kind of just ask around. I'm sure there's a lot of recommendations, and there is a lot of people. I think the one great thing is that there are so many people right now, that are focusing on, their health and their fitness. There's a lot of different gyms opening up. There, it doesn't have to be all strength training, right? Maybe it's strength training, and maybe you're doing pickleball too. So I think, I was just talking to Mel, one of our ladies at Youngevity, and that's what she started doing, the gym twice a week, and she started doing pickleball, and she didn't even know she was going to love pickleball. But now she's lost weight, she's healthy, like all the things are kind of lining up. I think the one important thing too is to find something that you really love to do. Doesn't have to be running, right? Doesn't have to
Yeah.
be a cycle bar or whatever. It can be a lot of different things.
Yeah. Recently it was National Dance Day.
Dancing is a great form of exercise. Yes.
Zumba, it could be almost anything,
It's so
and
fun.
yeah, it's fun. And you do want to enjoy your exercise routine. I was doing Pilates. I did enjoy that. But it was floor Pilates. It wasn't the reformer.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed that. And, you got to do something that you know you can do and that you're comfortable with. and you will continue with. Otherwise, it doesn't become a habit,
Exactly.
you know? And, hire people to help you, whether it's, eating better, releasing weight. You would hire someone like me. and with Rocio, you would hire her for the physical fitness training, because I can recommend things, but I want you to actually get a physical fitness trainer.
Yeah. And that's even, yes, important as well. I think what you do, Deb, it is trying to get people, healthy from the inside out. And especially, mentally, that's the biggest challenge a lot of people can have, with a diet and exercise program. And I think a health coach is there to kind of guide you, because it can be so frustrating, right? If maybe something isn't changing, or maybe you gained weight again, or all of a sudden, your gut or something's happening. And I think people always see one little thing and it becomes a setback, instead of, hey, this is part of the process, right? And you're going to have a lot of setbacks, but you got to keep going.
Yeah, there's changes that happen, good and bad, but there's ways of getting over those little humps. Exactly. Yeah. Well, I know you need to leave soon, but is there a closing remark you want to say for the audience today?
I know. Thank you. And well, Dan, thank you again so much, Deb. I'm so sorry that I had to cut it short. It's been just a crazy time, but there's a lot of exciting things happening within our own community that, we'll all share, and a lot of events coming up. And so hopefully if you can get some of your, community to come attend these events and join us at everything, there's always a lot to learn. But, I think I just want to leave you guys with, as we said, less is more, right? I think right now in this time of perimenopause and menopause is a really good time to, not do as much, right? So it's not doing more, it's thinking smarter, it's being more present, being more aware of our bodies, of how we're feeling, of, and listening to that kind of voice of yourself, like, hey, today's not the day. Today's a day I'm going to walk. It doesn't have to be a one for all, it's a time right now. And I think it's a really beautiful time that we're kind of changing the way that we think and the way that our body is, and, embrace these kind of changes, and, try not to do too much, right? I know that it's hard, but I think, like we said, we have to focus on those three things: strength, protein intake, and then stress. Very important, right? So don't overwhelm yourself too much with everything that's happening. So try to do a little bit less, be smarter, and just focus on, those three things, and hydration. And
you need to go to your appointment. But thank you for being on my show. I'll have you back again. And change is part of life, and you learn and grow from it. So we'll have you back for another topic. So
of course. Yes, so happy to be here with you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Now that Rose gone, I do have an offer for you that's very special. It's 5 habits to master your menopause, and it's a holistic guide for health and exercise. She shares some of the ideas I already knew about, and it's a downloadable that you can get that will talk about these habits, some ideas that you can do, and you will learn a lot from it, what you want, what you can do. Now, I also have in there some emails that gives you more ideas. So, and of course, you're welcome to ask me questions. It is at bit.ly/the number 5, and then habits with a capital H, 2 with a capital T, master, capital M, and then M for capital M for menopause. Or you can use this QR code. Remember, you can reach out to me and ask me questions whenever you want. And this is a great offer to get you started. Now, I want you to remember that I do revitalize people's lives in many different areas of health and mindset. Obviously, I start off with the gut and mindset, but I do help you with blood sugar. I do help you with hormones. I do help you with brain and heart, as well as bone and joint. Gee, I recovered from a broken foot. And I help you with immunity as well. So I can help people who are anxious up to athletes, because I am guiding you to clean toxic-free foods and high-quality essential nutrients, products that reduce symptoms. You'll feel better, possibly release additional weight like I did. I released 20 pounds. That made it up to 70. All that's going to uplift your mood. And you need to, look at what you can do regarding this. Now, set up a complimentary consultation with me. And you will learn how I can help you with mindset, where I help you release your stress, emotions, and emotional entanglements as well. And I'm up there while you're reshaping your core beliefs, and you're asking me questions and things like that. So your mindset will be enhanced. And then with the health optimization and weight release, your body is going to be more efficient. So that's a mind-body solution that makes your heart and soul sing. So when you set up that complimentary consultation at Debi Changes Lives, which is DebiChangesLives, as in Victory ES /Linktree, LINKTRE, or use that QR code, you'll get to know me and I get to know you, and I'll guide you to your optimal health, and I'll create that custom solution for you. But first, we have to do some health assessments. The first one is a health evaluation, where you rate your systems in the last 30 days in 4 categories of health. And some questions overlap into multiple categories. Ask them all. You will get a baseline score. Please don't be afraid of it. It's large. I will review it with you, and I'll create that custom natural holistic strategy to that we need to address mind, body, and soul, and we monitor that score on a monthly basis to reduce it. I also have 2 different body Zyto scans, but I prefer to do the Vizera link because I can send it internationally and remotely. It's been sent to Australia as well as South Africa. Vizera link is a transdermal optical imaging app that I send a link to your phone. You scan your face for 30 seconds. It's going directly into your skin, not looking at anything else but blood flow for components of energetic, functional, emotional, and different body systems and lifestyles. The emotional component is such a hidden gem because it is traditional Chinese medicine, where the emotion can affect an organ like liver. So anger can affect the liver. It's not giving you a diagnosis, guys. It's giving you a wellness report of biomarkers out of range and products and services that bring it back into range. And it's quite an intensive report. So the scan does cost $75, but if you move forward with a program or a product, I'll give you a $25 credit toward that. The Zero Link is a transdermal optical imaging app, also known as TOI, and it's quite accurate. And you can look that accuracy up at pubmed.gov. That's pubmed.gov. When people take the scan, they are astounded at what their body tells them, and you'll be too. Curious? Get that scan done, or ask me questions at my consultation site. And on that site are my programs. These are just some of my programs. Take Your Body Back is a 12-week weight release mindset coaching program where you can utilize a new version of you for your success. All coaching is done on Zoom, and the first one's always private to you because I am a certified holistic health practitioner, and any evaluation is private. I go over those assessments. I give you a choice between 3 programs. One is the natural approach to the GLP-1 with no injections and doesn't have the side effects that the medical versions have. And it barely has any side effects at all, actually. And I give you directions how to take one of them. Then I also give you instructions how to create that new version of you that's going to drive you with emotion and passion to achieve your health and weight transformational goals throughout your journey. And all the rest of the coaching is the same, whether it's group or private. We will celebrate our wins. I'll be showing you how to use those boards, and I'll guide you over with tips with health and mindset. You will become a new you. Because this program has changed, you need to ask me more questions on my consultation site, and I'm more than happy to help you. Now, if you're do-it-yourselfer, why fast is for you? It's an intermittent fasting program that gets your cells and body humming and turn business your metabolism with rich, dense nutrition and high-quality essential nutrients. And it exercises, and a program of exercises and recipes. And you'll see Ro in those exercises. And what is great about this program is if you have any questions, you can ask me questions on my consultation site. If you feel like you need some coaching, you could do a 2 or 4 week program, and that will get you going. And if you feel like you want to continue, with my coaching, then you can pay for more coaching. Now, you could use these smaller programs for mindset enhancement as well as health optimization, but truly, those are longer term journeys. And you save money on the longer program, but the smaller programs will help me create a custom program to you that's more suited to your needs. Again, you would go to debichangetheslives.com/linktree to go to the consultation or use this QR code. And go to the next slide. Now, we were talking about a little bit about HOPE. HOPE is a complete women's health system. It's for women ages 30 to 100 who are in perimenopause, menopause, or postmenopause. And it's your solution. Now, both Ro and I were talking about the purple one, which is the great probiotic just for women. It can actually bring back vaginal, get rid of vaginal dryness. It's also a great probiotic just for women. Then there's Life Balance. Now, it balances your hormones out, but it's not supposed to replace your hormones. So if you need to get hormone replacement therapy, don't let that product think it will do that. It's not going to do that for you. And then there's Rejuvenate, which it actually is it's the one that helps you age gracefully, because what it does is it protects the telomeres. The telomeres are kind of like the end of a shoelace. And when that's gone, your DNA, at the end of the DNA, it frays and you'll age faster. So it's going to help you age gracefully. If you have any more questions about HOPE, then you would go to my link tree again, which is at Debi Changes Lives. That's DebiChangesLives, as in Victory, ES.com/link tree, or use this QR code to ask me questions. And you do have a 30-day money back guarantee as well if for some reason you don't like the product. And remember, finally, learn more about, you can go to the next slide, learn more about alternative health services, products, programs, offers, articles, blogs, upcoming shows, and events by subscribing to my newsletter at DebiChangesLives.com. This time /radio TV show, all in lowercase, or use this QR code. And you'll get a gift, a 30-day health and mindset daily action journal, where you can record your gratitudes, thoughts, feelings, and emotions. That's going to help you identify your stress. Then you can also record your water, food, supplements, and exercise, as well as track your measurements too on a daily basis. You don't want to track your measurements on a daily basis, but you can use that to track your measurements. This is going to give you an idea of what's working for you. Then you want to review it on a daily, monthly, weekly basis. Find your wins and celebrate them. Find your gaps to work on. If you need help bridging that gap, you contact me for coaching. This journal is a great health and mindset awareness tool. And I'm certain that you found this show educational, informative, as well as enjoyed it. Reach out to me for my services, products, programs, and offers. Take advantage of that free offer of the 5 habits to master menopause. It's a great way to start and get to know me a little bit, and then reach out to me with questions, okay? And if you have any questions regarding anything else with Youngevity, you can ask Rocio, but if you're going to buy products, she'll be sending you back to me. So, I hope you enjoyed the show. Continue to enjoy my radio and TV show, Debi Changes Lives, on Thursdays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, where your holistic journey begins.